The last XRP video I did was back in June, and so much has changed since then. Today we will see what are the updates and what's coming next. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is King, your host, and today's video is for pure educational purposes. If it's your first time in the channel and you happen to like my content, please consider subscribing and smashing the like button. If you're new to trading and don't know where to start, you can consider joining my Telegram channel where I provide exclusive trading setups with defined targets. This will help you make more profits in the crypto market and get your feet faster in the game. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will leave the links for you below. Let's look at the charts. So I'm not going to go to the full details of the previous video, and instead I will leave a link for you below to go and see it first. However, we'll make a quick recap on the current situation of XRP and see where do we stand on the bigger and the smaller picture. So as I said in my last video, this yellow line here was the beginning of the cycle, of the current cycle, where the price increase has started. So initially XRP in its first impulse has formed a 5-wave structure, and this structure consisted of 3 impulses and 2 corrections. So these were the impulses and these were the 2 corrections, and this is on the smaller structure level. Now on the bigger structure level, this 5-wave structure is considered as one piece. So this was the first piece of the bigger structure on the cycle. And now we can take the smaller structure away. Now after this first impulse was complete, we entered into a correction mode. And this correction consisted of 3 waves instead of 5. And these were wave A, wave B, and wave C. And it formed what we call a running flat corrective pattern. So once this correction was complete, it was considered as a single wave as well. So this was the second wave of the bigger structure. And now we can take the smaller waves away. So if you have been following me for a while, you would know that I always tell you guys, every structure in the market should at least consist of 3 waves. And there is no way we would ever have less than 3 waves in a single structure. And because of that, we should be expecting a third and the last wave on this cycle to complete the overall structure, because 2 waves alone will be considered incomplete. So we have to get a third one that should go and break this previous all-time high over here in order for us to consider the overall structure for XRP as a complete structure. Now since we already know that we should get a third and the last wave in order to complete the overall structure in this cycle, we will go now and try and look at the possibilities of what's going to happen next. So the next piece that we are going to analyze is this piece from this line onwards, because the second wave have ended over here and this was the start of the third wave. Now the first option that we can consider getting is that we mirror the first impulse that we had over here. As I told you earlier, this impulse was a 5-wave impulse. So if we are going to get something similar, so we should get a structure that looks something like this: W, X, Y, X, and then Z. So this is one way of looking at it. However, I'm not a big supporter of this specific scenario over here, because if we are going to exactly mirror the first piece of the overall structure, so this might extend the last impulse towards the end of the first quarter of the next year. And I don't think that this is likely, because the cycle is most likely to end earlier than that. However, we have another scenario that we can look at over here, and it says that we may get only a 3-wave structure instead of 5-wave and not mirror the first impulse. So we could have a W, an X, and then a Y. And this specific scenario makes more sense over here. So if this happens, it will complete the third and the last wave of this structure. And this way, the bigger picture will be complete. So the overall movement of XRP in this cycle will be an impulse, a correction, and then another impulse. Now, regardless of how high this can get, I'm not saying that it's gonna go to $3 or $5 or even $2. This is not exactly what I'm saying over here, but I'm explaining to you what structure we are likely to get. So now let us look at this last piece, which is the first piece of the third bigger wave, and try to see where do we stand as of now. From what we can see so far is that we have an initial impulse and we started pulling back or having some kind of correction. Now if we go from the daily chart to the 4 hours chart and try to look at this exact piece, we will notice that since we started correcting or moving sideways or even pulling back, this kind of movement is corrective in its nature, and this implies that most likely we are going to get another impulse soon. But the important question is, when is that going to happen? Now, if we plot the Fibonacci retracement levels at this structure on the first and initial impulse, we will find that after the price started pulling back, it found a good and a decent support around the 0.618 Fibonacci level. And we can look at this as one scenario. So the 618 might be the support that's going to keep the price from falling down further. So it's not necessarily that we see the price starts taking off from here. We might see a little bit of sideways movement and then move up from here. So that's a possibility. But as long as the price is above the 0.618 Fibonacci level, we can consider this as the initial support. And at a certain point over here, we'll start seeing the price going higher and higher and higher till it starts making the next impulse. Now, in case the 618 Fibonacci level does not hold its ground and the price falls down further beyond this point, so the next level that will likely hold the price is the 0.786. So if the price does not hold here, it might drop towards this level, and this level is actually stronger than the 0.618 because it has another price action support levels. This is the first one and this is the second one. So the 0.786 is a stronger support level. However, it's not necessarily because the 786 is a stronger level that the price drops down towards this level. But in both cases, what will happen is that as soon as this corrective piece ends, we're going to see the price move up further. So this movement might be from this point here to the upside, or if this point of support does not hold, we'll see the price go down and then continue going up from here. So in all cases, all the roads will take you to Rome, and the price eventually will start going up. However, one scenario is short and the other scenario is lengthier. Now, if you ask my opinion, this is most likely going to depend on how Bitcoin will behave in the days to come. Now, if you want to know what's the long-term target for XRP after we complete this move, again, I will leave the link for you above. You can go and check out my previous video because I discussed in details how far the price is going to go from this point onwards and what are the likely targets that XRP could be looking at this year. I would love to hear your thoughts. Tell me, what do you think? Do you agree with this scenario, or do you have another idea in mind? Let me know in the comments below. This was it today for XRP, and until next video, stay safe and see you later.